Hi everyone, good afternoon, happy Sunday. Hope you're all going well. My name's Andrew Rossi. Welcome to Behind the Scenes, Guide to Other People's Money. I'm really grateful for being here today to actually share a part of my story and share a few of the things that I've learned over my journey with Amanda and the Rising Star community. So I hope you grab one or two key things from this conversation, and I hope that each of you find something of value in what I'm about to share. My passion is people. I love working with people. I've worked with many people over a number of years in business. I'm a terrible employee. I'm a fantastic business owner and builder of businesses. It's my passion, is to build things and contribute and grow. But I'm not good on the other side, being an employee. So anyway, let's have a bit of fun today. Let's have a bit of a discussion on what it's like to work with someone like me, or finding a person like me to work with you in your development journey. Let's get this dialogue up here for questions. How am I going here? Yep, that's it. Perfect. So one of the first things I wanted to share with all of you today, in terms of being behind the scenes for finding people like me, is all of us as humans. We have dreams. Me personally, I've had dreams for many years, from the time I was a little tacker to even now, to this day, right now, we have dreams. Our dreams involve our health and our well-being, our family, our community, the things that we can build, the things we can contribute to. And this is actually where your first opportunity lies right now. There's actually an abundance of people out there right now who have a lot of dreams, where they want to actually make their money work for them more effectively. So they want to see themselves invest wisely, or get into a partnership wisely, or go from where they are to where they want to be in the next year, 5 years, 10 years. And this is your first opportunity right now. If you talk to your community about what you're excited about, or what it is that you're wanting to do, what's going to happen is you're going to start finding yourself being presented with opportunity to access other people's money. And I know personally, from my own journey, that there has been one of the keys to my success. Before I even met Amanda, that was one of the biggest keys to my success, was actually working in partnership with people to go from where I was and to where I am today. I'm always growing and I'm always learning, and it's an important point early on that we need to actually get into. Now, funding deals, working with other people to actually fund deals and finding the right money partner for you. Somehow Amanda allowed me to work with her, which is fantastic. I'm really grateful for that. I heard her intro me, and she obviously told you the story about her resigning and how devastating that was for me. Superstar salesperson doing a great job in my IT company, and then she said to me whilst I was holidaying, lazy me, I was holidaying in Italy, and she sends me an email saying, "I got to go, boss." And I went, "No." But anyway, long story short, our journey kept going from there. So it was really fortunate that we got to work together in IT, and it was really fortunate we got to work together further down the path of doing property developments together. So it's an important key factor that I'd like to start off with right now is that when you dream, or you come up with an idea of where you want to be, you should have the courage right there and then to start sharing with others. I've had a lot of mentoring in my time in business, and one of the key messages that have been delivered to me over and over again by my mentors and my business partners is it's not great ideas that fail, it's cash flow. And cash flow is king in any business idea, and you've got to share. You've got to talk to your community to say, this is what I'm passionate about, this is what I'm going to do. And what will happen is opportunity will get presented to you. My first property development didn't involve Amanda. I was passionate about properties, but bottom line was I went and did it on my own and made lots and lots of mistakes on my own. But the bottom line was that step in the journey started building my community. It started building me up into becoming a part of the property development world. And it meant that when I went to have a conversation with Amanda about being a money partner with her, I was more informed. So yeah, it's certainly something to be aware of, that you should have your dreams, have your imagination, see where you want to go, and then have the courage to communicate it. And what's going to happen is you're going to have, through the attraction strategies, you're going to draw people into you, which goes into our main part of our conversation today. So a little bit about me. I started out in sales as a young fella. Did it in direct marketing, which was a big learning curve. That evolved into my background in psychology and coaching. Did lots and lots of work with teams and people across the country, and got to meet some fantastic people. I love people. People genuinely keep me moving on a day-to-day basis, and from there I built up my first business, which was a business coaching business, and from there I met my mentor and some of the great business partners I've got to work with throughout my life. And that then evolved into a journey with a company called didnt, which we started out, there were 6 of us that started it out here in South Australia, which was the first money partner journey. We approached the international entity of didnt in New Zealand, and we said, look, we want to start an operation here in South Australia. And they became our money partner on our journey. And the key to that particular success was we went into that particular journey as a clear vision about what sort of values we wanted to have, what sort of people we wanted to attract, what sort of business we wanted to be known for. And that understanding of where we wanted to be and getting an agreement with an aligned partner who had aligned values and an aligned direction, and more importantly, was in it with us, in it from a success perspective, that they were going to achieve and we were going to achieve and everyone was going to be happy. That was my first lesson in money partnership. And it was a phenomenal success. We did tremendously well. I got to meet some amazing people, and that's where Amanda and I first met, which was fantastic. And what happened from there was I was looking for my next opportunity whilst Datacom was being sold, and that led into my passion, which is real estate. I enjoy real estate. I enjoy all aspects of real estate, and yeah, we find ourselves here today. 6 years down the track, we've done together, I think we've done about 7 projects, and it's been a great journey. It's been a journey of highs and some tough experiences, but it's been all worthwhile. So something that I think all of you need to be aware of is that when you go through each of your property developments as such, the success that you have isn't always monetary. It's the experience that's gained. Yes, there's been some financial success. The first development we did together probably set the bar a little bit too high. We got a 45% return on our cash in our first project in just over 12 months. Great result. And as a joint venture partner, it was, I thought, wow, okay, this is worth doing over and over again. And we have continued to do a number of projects and have continual success. Generally, return on cash has been over 20% on the majority of our projects. We have had a bump in the road, but again, we've learnt a lot from that bump in the road, and we've always been profitable, which comes down to what I call the awesomeness of Amanda and what you're all learning right now. She has made this journey amazing because of her desire to learn, to grow, and to give. And this community is a result of Amanda and her drive and where she's heading. So as a money partner, an investor, a JV partner, whatever you want to call it, it gives me a lot of confidence that if I bring my skills and complement the skills of Amanda, then we're going to increase our chance for a successful outcome. It's a lesson you should all be aware of, that the people that come together, the team that comes together, it needs to be complementary. It needs to be aligned in values. It needs to be something that has got a clear understanding of what success looks like. And as you do that, what will happen is, regardless of the experience, you'll just grow. And with growth comes more opportunity, comes great moments. So I've got a question in here already early on from John. He was asking about how much does normally, get shared from a profit perspective, from, a JV perspective. Now, one of the key things in each of the successes that Amanda and I have shared in, we knew right at the start what each other wanted to get out of a project. So didnt, for instance, the very first project, which we got a phenomenal return on our cash, we understood what needed to go into the project, and we understood the effort that was going to go into that project. Admittedly, I look back at it now, I didn't do a lot apart from provided cash. I was a sidekick who learnt a lot and went on the journey with Amanda, and it was great. There was site meetings and there was planning sessions, and I got to sit in a council approval process meeting, which was staggering. I learned a lot about council members and their ability to approve a development. But the bottom line was we were very, very, very early on in our process, but we knew what each other were going to do through the journey, from an investment of time, an investment of money, and more importantly, a return on effort. So is there a set rule on what sort of split there should be in a JV? The set rule is you need to be very, very clear about what you want to get out of it. You need to be very, very aware of what your business partner wants to get out of it, and you come to an agreement. There is no one size fits all. It genuinely has to do with the outcome and your involvement and your engagement. My journey now is really cool. As a JV partner, Amanda is actually comfortable enough to let me project manage our current development. Now, I don't know if it's a good thing, but it's what I'm doing. It's good fun for me. I like to learn, I like to grow, and it's certainly something that has evolved my skills. So every JV, every joint success has been very much aligned to a clear understanding of outcomes and a clear understanding of roles. And we'll talk more about that as we go along. One of the key secrets to the success that Amanda and I have had throughout our JVs is we are very, very, very aware of our expectations. So Amanda knows what to achieve from her perspective. I know what I need to achieve from my perspective. Sometimes we find ourselves in situations where we're in a planning discussion and I'm brought in as a person who has to play a bit of the bad cop with planning departments and have a conversation that challenges the planning department. Or I might be finding myself in a sales situation where I'm working with people that I've traditionally managed over the years, and I know when we're getting fed some sort of, let's just say not the most honest feedback. But the bottom line is my role is brought in to support Amanda, to help in conversation, to help in progress, to help in getting an outcome that is outstanding. And the great news there is Amanda's ability to execute process, the discipline to go from point A to point B in a timely manner, in an honest manner, in a clearly communicated manner, is outstanding. And so we complement each other, and that's one of the biggest keys to our secret of success for our JV. So we are aware of each other's expectations, and we're aware of our strengths, and we work together from that perspective. I think the other key to our JV success is we treat risk as a positive experience. So positive risk, or as I call it, positive opportunity, that is a mindset. That is, you wake up and you go, okay, I have a choice here to be very, very negative or restrictive on this, or I can be positive and I can be someone who's constructive and with energy approaching this particular situation. Our ability to remain positive, constructive, and energized has been one of the biggest keys to our success. I've learned in business that getting people engaged, having them look forward, look towards outcome rather than focusing in on things that are stopping them or limiting them, that's been an enabler for continuous success. So if there's a little bit of a message there for all of you right now, if you're thinking about what could go wrong or what isn't working for you or what isn't necessarily in your nature to do, you've got to flip it. You've got to flip it. Instead of being focused on what could go wrong, is what has to happen for things to go right. It doesn't necessarily mean that things are going to go right. It doesn't mean you're not going to have a bad experience, but what it does do is it shifts your mind into, I'm moving towards a positive outcome. I'm moving towards something that's going to create a great end result. Your experience from there is a bit of a bit of a lottery, but you're going to increase your chance of having a great experience and reduce your chance of having a poor experience. And in our situation, over 6 years, our track record is quite clear. We're having ongoing success because of the mind, positive risk, clear expectations. And I think for us, well, for me personally, I put my head on the pillow at night and I go to sleep and I go, okay, if the worst case scenario happens, I will still get to sleep. The world will still be okay. The situations will be moving forward in an okay manner. I love my family. I love people. I want things to be enabled. I want things to move forward. And from my perspective right now, I'm genuinely, passionately saying to myself, no matter what happens, the world is going to move forward in an okay manner. Now, if you put your head on the pillow and you go, that risk is far too great, that risk is going to keep me up at night, that risk is not going to be something I want to stay with, then stop what you're doing, rethink your business model, rethink your outcome, rethink what success looks like to you, and from there, redo the conversation until you're comfortable that the risk you're taking is a positive risk. You hear me talking quite a bit early on here about mindset, and I tell you, the key to a great JV, the key to enormous success is in between the ears, all right, or in between, might be wing nuts. Anyway, the bottom line is you need to make sure that you have a focus that is on an outcome. You need to make sure that your values that matter to you, you live by them in your decision making. So honesty is important to me. I was looking for a business partner who was honest, a man who was strong in honesty, strong in respect, strong in work ethic, strong in ability to be transparent in their communication, high integrity. Value-based decision making is huge in terms of mindset. And energy, if you're not energized, bounce, get going, start moving, start drinking water, start moving, keep yourself flowing. Energy affects your ability to have a great focus. Energy also affects your ability to remain constructive. I'm letting you all know these things because these things here are the key to a JV partnership. JV partnerships go off the rails because of some of these factors here going off the rails. And I've had both sides of the coin where I've attracted great partners in my business career, and I've had the odd experience where I thought I was aligned, but when I wasn't aligned, that situation, it led to me having some really tough experiences. Again, though, I'm grateful for them because it's taught me what to value most. So there's two types of things that you need to be aware of right now in terms of money partners. When you're attracting a person like me or someone who actually has dreams, we all have dreams, and that's why there's so many money partners out there. When you're trying to attract someone like me, it's very important you understand there's two styles. So there's the investor loan and there's the joint venture partner. The investor loan is something I have done with Amanda. I had some spare cash lying aside, and I said to Amanda, "You've got a development going up. I think it was Lincoln Street in Paradise." So I spoke to Amanda. I said, "Do you have an opportunity for me to invest in this particular development?" And she said, "Yes, I do." I gave her a fixed amount of money, and she gave me a guaranteed fixed return. It's a very simple process, and in fact, in terms of a money partner, it's probably the easiest way for you to actually attract someone. It really is, because they know that over a fixed period of time, there's going to be a return on investment. It's in fact, out of all the developments we did, it was probably the most, for me, the least interesting one. And it's horrible to say because they've all been really cool, but as an investor, I didn't have to get heavily involved. It was purely a financial transaction. The joint venture type partner, and something I would encourage you to go out and find, people like me are doing things all the time. They're either running businesses, or they're already dabbling in property development, or they're successful in their profession already, and they're trying to find a strategy to make their money work for them. They're trying to get their return on investment increased in what is a unique market we find ourselves in right now. So they're everywhere. They're in abundance, and it gets down to you talking to your community. What dreams are people going after right now? What are they doing about it? People will be choosing to do investment in share market. People will be choosing to do investment in commodities. People will choose to do their own developments or their own business ideas or start a business themselves. This is just an extension of that conversation. And the more you put yourself out there to your community, the more you say, this is the outcome I'm trying to achieve, the community will interact with you. And that's what happened with Amanda and I. I got an understanding of what it is that she wanted to achieve, and it pricked my ears up as an entrepreneur to say, okay, great values, great human, be awesome to work with her on an opportunity to bring about a great success for her and a great success in terms of me moving towards the dreams for me and my family. So it's a a long way of going about it in terms of putting money into a situation. It's a little bit more work to be a JV, but it's worth it. You get a really, really good result as a result of getting into a JV partnership. Okay, so the specifics of an investor loan. Generally, I think for me, the rate of return, because of our success, I kind of demanded a bit more from Amanda. I said to Amanda, I said, look, I've got a goal here. I'm putting in some money. I really want to see at least 20% return on my money. Now, luckily for me, Amanda is someone I've worked with for a long, long time. She was able to negotiate with me when we came back to a number we agreed to, and it was well within a great result from her perspective. So her perspective, she's got a development opportunity. That development opportunity is going to give her a rate of return. She then has a certain percentage of cash that needs to come in for that development. Obviously, leveraging the cash to borrow funds as well from a financial institution, and that combination then guaranteed an Amanda a certain rate of return. And she had confidently turned around and said to me, "Hey Andrew, no worries. We'll do this development in Lincoln Street in Paradise, and you'll get your return on your cash." Great result. Very simple process. You as developers out there, if you want to attract 4 or 5 people from that regard, my message to you is really, really clear. Fall in love with the numbers on your projects. Make sure that you know your numbers. Make sure you understand the journey you're going to go on. From the time that you acquire the site, to the time you go through planning, from the time that you actually get yourself your designs and get it through to actually commencing the building phase. And the critical phase, which is the one that's the X factor in every single development, is the ability to move the product, the ability to sell the product. You need to educate your investors that yes, we will acquire the site, and yes, we'll go through planning, and yes, we'll have a dream of a fantastic project that still needs to be sold at the right price. And here is the worst case scenario, and here's the best case scenario. And you've got to fall in love with that journey before you even commence the journey. As an investor or as a JV partner, that was critical to me. And that's the reason why Amanda was such an easy partnership for me to join up with, and even someone I want to invest in, because I could fall in love with the numbers. The numbers were presented to me in a clear, transparent fashion, in a professional feasibility document, and yeah, it made it a decision that it made it easy for me to make a decision. And that's something that you should be very aware of, that the more that you can feel comfortable with what you're doing, you will attract investors. You will attract them to join you on your journey. The joint venture situation is a little bit more specific. So, at the end of the day, when you're creating a joint venture, it's really important that you sit down with legal support. Amanda and I sat down with legal support, and we articulated all the things that were really important to us. Even before we sat down with the lawyer, we actually sat down together, of course, and we had a chat about what it was that we wanted to get out of a joint venture, and we agreed to what it was we wanted from a financial return, in terms of an effort, in terms of an overall journey. And then we sat down with the lawyer and we created a document. People say, why do you need a lawyer to get involved in a joint venture situation? Well, here's what I've learned in business for many, many years. Things happen that you don't even consider. And there are unfortunate things. They can be divorce, they can be death, they can be situations with health, they can be just circumstances that unfortunately no one wants to have happen, but they happen and they affect a joint venture. A lawyer will look at a document and make sure that it's ironclad, that it's tight, that if I get knocked over by a bus, Amanda can continue to complete the project because the people who are my beneficiaries, who take my money, are going to say, okay, Andrew's locked himself into an agreement, and that agreement is going to go the journey and be completed before he gets his funds back, so that Amanda's not at risk. And that's again coming down to putting your head on the pillow at night and being, a person who goes, I feel safe now. I know that the world I'm creating in the future is a good, secure world. And this is why values need to be aligned, because legal conversations are, well, they're not the conversations I want to have. It's not how I'm built, but I promise you, from a positive risk perspective, I want to see Amanda and her family be okay if something bad happened to me. So yeah, it's an important conversation. So the JV needs to be tight. It needs to be clear, and there needs to be a very clear understanding of roles, responsibilities, who gets paid, when they get paid, how much they get paid. All these things need to be very clearly articulated in a joint venture document. And when you're attracting someone to you to become a joint venture partner, I promise you, this level of discipline, this level of detail, that will give them confidence. That will give them a lot of confidence to work with you on the journey. So you fall in love with the numbers. You've got yourself a clear understanding of what your outcome is in terms of your project. You've attracted the right people with great values, clear expectations. You get your documentation sorted. What happens then is you get on, you do your work. You've got to get on and do your work. Get a PhD in doing. Do. You have experiences, you'll grow, you'll learn, and yeah, it's a lot of fun from there. And that's something, it's remiss of me, I haven't said it a lot, but yeah, I'm a passionate guy, I like having fun. If this wasn't fun, then I wouldn't be doing it. So yeah, there's days you go on site when it's wet and muddy and it's crazy, and you look at each other and you go, what are we doing out here? But it's a hoot, it's fun. It's good, good feeling, a good feeling to be building something, to be creating something. And that's the great fun thing about property development. Look, I think, if I was in your position right now and you're trying to attract someone to get into a project, I think one of the things I've watched Amanda and Al able to do through their journey with Onassis and Rising Star is they've been able to really exponentially grow in the last 5 or 6 years as a result of creating a team. So look, if you can take anything from this, the building of your community, the building of your team, the building of people you trust and people you can have open, transparent conversations with, that there is gold. That there is going to be your pathway to realizing your dreams. If you can understand and value people on a day-to-day basis, and what strengths they can bring, and what qualities they can bring, and the energy they can bring, and the positivity they can bring, these factors all lead you to navigate what is a fun path, which is property development. So yes, I provide cash. Yes, I provide energy. Yes, I provide some skills. But the bottom line is everyone is succeeding right now because we knew what success was before we went into it, and we've all agreed to it. And this abundance mentality, this win-win mentality, this mentality of sharing in growth and success, that just leads to good outcomes every time. Not necessarily, we don't get the most desired outcome every time, and sometimes our expectations get missed. But the bottom line is, because we've pointed in a certain direction, said this is what success looks like, we're okay. We're growing. We're moving forward. So finding a money partner who subscribes to the right mindset, who understands abundance, understands win-win, someone who actually enables you to scale so that you're able to do 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 developments at one point in time. There's the key ingredient. Okay, have no fear about having the conversation right now with people, and I mean people, because I know too many people who don't have dreams, and most people who have got dreams want to get a better return on their money. I am in this really weird situation right now where I am, I'm in a partnership with Amanda, but my community comes to me now going, Andrew, can you get me involved? And I'm going, ease up, I'm the JV partner, I'm the investor. I don't know if I want to confuse things and have another group of partners with partners. Now, I have done on a couple of occasions with family. I've helped them out a bit. But yeah, you just got to realize that once you start communicating with your community and you start having experience, people are attracted to you. It will happen that people will come to you. This is where your discipline around making sure they've got the right values, the right outcomes, and understanding of expectation, understanding of roles. All these key things I've been saying, they're keys to this next phase. I hope you'll understand what win-win means. That means it doesn't mean I give all the money to Amanda and she takes it all and I don't get a return. Or flip side, I give all the money to Amanda and I get a return and Amanda doesn't get paid. No, that's not win-win. Win-win is success is clear. We understand the financial return. We understand the journey from a time perspective. We understand the interaction between each other. We totally get that the other person needs to succeed. I'm here talking to you right now because I actually want to see you succeed. I don't know any of you, but the bottom line is, in my head, if I help you succeed, if you take some of these ideas I'm sharing with you right now and you go on your journey and you succeed, that actually leads to better lives for your families, Amanda's family. Ultimately, it actually has a spin-off effect on my family as well because it gives me more opportunity. Everyone wins by growth and contribution. And this is me contributing to you. I am passionate about this, about giving and contributing. You should be, from your perspective, sitting there going, okay, how do I attract people? Well, the best thing to do is contribute to people, grow with people. And what happens is you create this win-win philosophy. The flip side is if you are a communicator of, I've got this development and this is the sort of return that I'm going to get from it, and I'll give you a little piece on the side here. People spot that a mile away. They spot the lack of integrity. They spot the lack of return. They spot that moment of greed, which is it's toxic. And that toxicity leads to, unfortunately, it leads to some really undesired experiences. So be wary of it, okay? I know you want to go after your dreams, and I know you want to get there as soon as possible, but people like me, we're attracted to great mindsets, passionate people going after great outcomes, and everyone succeeding. I've got great relationships with all the people I've been in business with for many, many years, and it makes me really proud. I can run into them and talk to them, and their families are better because we started a business years ago, or their lives are better because I did a coaching program for them years ago. But the bottom line is you want to create a legacy. You want to create something that allows you to go after your dreams. And a win-win mindset, I think, is a must, an absolute must. So I've touched on this throughout this chat right now. We've obviously got a number of people in our community. For me, I obviously met Amanda from a business perspective. We worked together, and I got to see Amanda in action. So that was a pathway for us becoming money partners. So right now, who's in your community? Who's going after dreams right now? Who's investing right now? Who wants to listen to what it is that you're doing right now? Who wants to look at one of your feasibilities or one of the deals that you're working on right now? Who wants to actually learn from one of your experiences right now? For me, I actually wanted to learn how to do property development better because I'd already started on my own, and I got to work alongside a superstar and Amanda and watch the journey from front row seat. It was awesome. No amount of money could have paid for that experience. So I guess from your perspective, you've got to look at what's going on in your community. In business right now, salespeople continue to get rewarded significantly in the IT industry. So if you want an industry to go after, software salespeople around the globe, they seem to earn some very, very good dollars. They're looking to invest. So there you go. There's a market for you to go talk to straight away. People who are entrepreneurial, who've got that mindset of positive risk, go and talk to them. Say hello. Talk to your real estate agents. Find out who they're talking to right now in terms of trying to find a site or working through a a development scenario. You just got to talk to people in your community, okay? They want to know what's going on, and you should be proud of what you're doing. You're growing and you're learning, and you know what? It's cool. It's really, really cool. And you might start here, but I promise you in a year's time, 2 years' time, you will evolve, whether it be financially or just through experience. And I promise you, the experience leads to you going after your dreams. So for me right now, I'm privileged that I got to work with Amanda, and I approached her because Amanda put it out to the community that this is her passion, this is her journey, this is where she was going. You need to now all think to yourself, okay, are you proud of yourself? Are you excited about what it is you're doing right now? Do you have a positive mindset about what you're doing? Have you fallen in love with where you're going with all this? Share it. Put it on social media. Put it out there. Have some courage and go after the positive risk. Everyone wants a new home. There's young people out there who want affordable homes. People want lovely homes. You are developers. You're creating lifestyles. Get excited about that. Celebrate it. Make it positive. That's how you attract partners. That's how you attract investors. That's genuinely how you're going to find yourself go from where you are to where you want to be and acquire some of your dreams. And the cool thing about dreams is they keep happening. As you get older, the dreams keep happening. They don't stop. So yeah, I'm a serial entrepreneur because I gotta feed 4 kids. So and they're making me dream again. So my 16-year-old daughter wants to start a real estate office. So what am I doing right now? I'm brainstorming an idea on how I start a real estate office. Something to do. But the bottom line is we all dream all the time. Money partners are dreaming all the time. They're there in abundance. Get the abundance mentality switched on in your head. Okay. I think, the key steps to a successful joint venture partnership. I've obviously talked on a number of key things here, and I'm mindful of time. I do talk a bit, Amanda. Apologies for that. It's genuinely a case of summarising some of the key points that I've gone over here. So one of the really important things here that I hold dear to my heart is that when you have values that are aligned, what happens is the conversations become transparent, real, easy. I can sit down with Amanda and say, hey, Amanda, I'm having a bit of a life moment right now. I've had a tough 12 months. And I won't go into my problems, but bottom line is I had a challenging 12 months. But because I've got an aligned group of values with Amanda, I can trust her. I know that I can be honest and open with her, and she's going to wrap her arms around that. Now, values are critical in a JV, absolutely critical. So figure out your values. What do you value? What is it that you genuinely hold dear to in your decision making? Is it that honesty is non-negotiable? Is it the case that people must grow and evolve? Is it the case that you've got to have fun? Is it the case that you operate with integrity? You've got to make a decision on your values. And then when you're talking to your JV partner or your investor, please understand their decision making. Don't get all lit up by the fact that, oh, this person here's got $600,000 they can give me, or this person's got $1 million they can give me. Okay, Amanda and I, we've interacted over $4 million. We have. I didn't even realize it. I figured it out just before I came out here to talk. I added it all up and went, oh wow, we've put $4 million in each other's hands. I've never had a moment of distress over that. How does that happen? Values, okay? You've got to trust the person you're in partnership with. And you've got to be clear in understanding what it is that they want to achieve and what you want to achieve, okay? I've really smashed that point, but every business I've built has been principle-based. And that's the reason why we've had success, I believe. And it's my belief, right? I don't have all the answers. I just have beliefs through experiences. Values have been a very, very key part of success. The abundance mentality. So I'll talk from personal experience here. I've had a real challenging time with my own personal life, and the bottom line is if you don't switch on the abundance mentality, that there's actually an abundance of great people out there. There's an abundance of good things going on. There's an abundance of of the right outcome going on. If you don't switch that on, you'll flip it onto the desire to take, or the desire to have greed, or the desire to really be a person who isn't in it for anyone but yourself. You've got to find a way to be comfortable within your own skin and be happy in your own skin, and realize that if you help someone else succeed and you can get to go on that journey with you, you will succeed. You will have a ball. You will have a great time. All right? A lot of my success in life has been linked to other people having success. That's brought them so much energy, so much passion. You've got to have a win-win attitude. And the best thing about a win-win attitude is when things don't work, and they don't work sometimes, you actually can navigate it because you've got a win-win attitude. You've got an ability to actually find a way to go, okay, we didn't sell those properties for the price we wanted to sell. That's okay. What do we learn? Let's produce a different product. Let's go a different style. Let's look at a different area. A win-win attitude leads you through the tough times. It's a critical point that you should all be very mindful of. Abundance. There's an abundance. There's abundance of money partners out there. There's an abundance of cash out there. There's an abundance of opportunity out there. That switches on your win-win attitude. Really, really important. I said early on that I understood where my skills are and what skills that Amanda had that attracted me to Amanda from a business partnership perspective. You've got to be clear in what your role is in your partnership. Early on in the piece, I was the apprentice, and I loved it. Bottom line is Amanda agreed to that, and we understood that Amanda would control the process and ensure that we go through all the stages. And you know what? I was a happy as pig in mud. I loved it, absolutely loved it. The definition of roles makes the journey clear. It allows us to navigate, okay? It doesn't mean you have to be the best. It just means you understand what you're going to do, all right? I'm project managing the project at the moment that we're doing together. And look, at the end of the day, I am not in Amanda's league, but I'm loving the experience, right? And the bottom line is Amanda's there supporting me. We've got an understanding of roles. So understand your role. Understand what role you're going to play. You're going to play a sales role. You're going to play a planning role. What role are you going to play in the success of the partnership that you're going to go into? I've stressed to you right now that you need to sit down and agree with your JV partner what it is that you're going to have as your returns on cash, your returns on time, your returns on overall effort. And then you sit down with the lawyer and you ratify that and you put it in a document and you put a signature on it. And you make sure that every single time that agreement is packed away and is rock solid and you're all happy with it. Here's the key to a great JV, by the way. We don't go over the JV agreement. We don't read it every development. We don't. It doesn't have to be pulled out because we agreed and we put our signatures on it and we sleep at night and we're going, we're okay. We don't have to review the JV agreement. That's where you need to get to. You need to get to a stage where you trust that person so much and you put it in writing, you sign it off, that you don't have to go back to it. If you're going back to the JV agreement every single time you're doing a JV, there's something going awry there with your partnership. There's something, there's mistrust, there's a lack of values alignment, there's not a win-win attitude. All these things I've been talking about, if you're sitting there reading a JV agreement over and over again and scratching your head going, this isn't working, then you got something fundamentally wrong in those other things, okay? And I think I made this point a few minutes ago, and that is the ability to be transparent and honest and open with the communication. Feasibilities, when they're analysed, you're open and honest and you have dialogue. When you talk about returns, you're open and honest. When you talk about changes in life situations, you're open and honest. When you're talking about things that aren't necessarily working in the process, you're open and honest. When you're learning, you're open and honest. All this is coming back down to the ability for you as a person to operate at your best. And transparency has been the key to my business journey. It's been been a ripping ride. It's been a fun ride, and the bottom line is open, honest communication has been feeding that on a regular basis. So I think for me, if you can take those key points in trying to track down a great JV partner, that would be awesome. Look, what you want to do right now is grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, think about your community out there. whether it be from a business perspective, a social perspective, family perspective, or just people that you know who could be in proximity to you in real estate or whatever it may be. Note down possible money partners. Your pen shouldn't stop at 5, by the way. There's so many people out there dreaming. Just have this mindset right now. Who's got a dream? Who's got cash? Who's got a dream? Talk to them. Find out where they're at. Have some fun with it, and then it'll click one day. It'll be bang. That person has got aligned values. That person's got clear expectations. That person's fallen in love with numbers. That person's got the discipline to do great work. And you're meeting Amanda, and that there is an enabler of dreams. Okay, so I think I'm at time, or I'm pretty close to at time. I'm not sure how I'm going there. I might be. Have I? Okay. Is there any questions people have for me right now? I'm not sure if I've got any more listed here. No. Is there any more feedback or questions? I'm just trying to think of anything else from our journey perspective. Amanda, is there anything else that you'd like me to talk about that I haven't covered off at this particular point in time? No? Okay, she's all good over there. Just refer to my notes. Yeah, I think I said to you all right now, I've got some specifics for you if you wanted to hear. So I've done 8 developments in the last 6 years. 7 of those developments have been with Amanda, 1 on my own. The one on my own, I've held on to it for many, many years. It was the first one I did. I'm actually selling it right now, which is really cool. One of those sold last week. That's been a fantastic return on investment. Of the 7 developments I've done with Amanda, one of those was an investor, and the rest of them have been JV partnership. Awesome for me. Very, very, very cool. Like I said, about $4 million of funds have gone into the developments, but not all at one time. But yeah, we've invested around $4 million. Best return on cash was 45%. And most of the time, it's been north of 20%, the return on cash. So yeah. So in terms of, I've got a question here from Stacey. Thank you, Stacey. How much is the minimum amount of equity that you could start with, start property development with? So for me, right now, as an investor, I think I could put in an amount of money that would be around the $50,000 or $100,000 mark. Amanda, I don't know. She's smiling away over there. I'm not in terms of minimum amount, but if I was to do a property development on my own, there are some fantastic opportunities at the moment. In terms of funding. So I think Tom would have talked about that a bit earlier on today in terms of the funding model. But I know my initial property development that I did in Johnston Street in Glengarry, I think I only put up somewhere around about $35,000 in cash, and the bank lent me the rest. Now, that was due to my financial situation, which was fantastic. But that was a development where I think we spent about just over $1 million in doing construction. It wasn't an overly expensive one, but it was a very small amount. Some of the developments I've done with Amanda, I've put in, well in excess of $650,000 to get a return on cash. But again, it's the opportunity, it's the deal, it's falling in love with the numbers, talking to financial institutions, finding out what they can lend you. Yeah, they're all parts of the conversation that you should have. Hopefully, I've given you a bit of an insight there, Stacey. So Brian. Andrew, is it worth advertising more broadly, formally in the community for JV partners? Yeah, look, I'm a massive fan of being proud of what it is that you do and sharing in the community. You're building homes. How cool is that? Yeah, talk to the community. I'm a big believer in saying, here is an opportunity I'm working on right now. I am looking for a partner or partners to get a return or get a great result from going on the journey. So fear or that restrictive mindset or that mindset of being, oh, I've got to be a bit private, a bit quiet about something right now. Look, don't do it. Be the opposite. Be proud. Share what it is you're doing. Talk to the community. That's when opportunity is that's where you meet your opportunity. That's where you meet great people. That's where you meet people like Amanda. I shared with Amanda what it was I was trying to achieve, and yeah, we're now business partners, JV partners. So Brian, go for it, please. Definitely communicate to the community. Go out there and wrap your arms around it. So yeah. And is the development with JV debt-free? No bank was involved. No, Anne. So every single one of our JVs, we've actually utilised financial institution money. So especially now, money is so cheap. So whatever you can do to minimise the amount of equity that goes into a project and leverage what is, borrowing money is definitely the way to go. So all our JVs, we've always leveraged financial institutions. We've said to them, okay, please present a percentage of the project. We always go for as much as possible. In my case, when I did my own, I got a phenomenal amount of percentage of money lent to me. So yeah, and all our JVs have been Amanda's knowledge, expertise, project management, equity, financial institution funds, and then obviously we have an agreed split from there. So hopefully that answers your question. Kimberly, what legal vehicle did you use for your JV? Do you set up a new one for each new development? I think I mentioned this in the presentation, but I'll reiterate it. Great question, Kimberly. Thank you for that. So we sit down and we create a legal joint venture document. That joint venture document has been obviously created by a lawyer based on what Amanda and I agreed to before we came together as partners. So I would say to Amanda, these are my expectations in a joint venture. Amanda would say, these are her expectations in the joint venture. We would sit down and have open dialogue with the lawyer. The lawyer would draft the document. And as I said to you, said to everyone in the presentation that I did earlier, that the key to a legal document is the what ifs. If I was to be, if I was to die, make sure that the joint venture continues on before beneficiaries take money from the result of my death, or if something was to happen to me in terms of another life circumstance, that it stops me from being a partner with Amanda. It doesn't stop the development proceeding. It's very, very important that you have all these protection pieces in place, and when you've got someone who's aligned in values, and when you've got someone who's working with you, I promise you it's an easy process. It's a really easy process to go through with a lawyer and to sign off. And like I said, you can sleep well at night. So hopefully that answers your question, Kimberly. Okay, Kimberly, sorry. It was more the legal entity rather than the contract between the parties that was interesting. Okay, all right. So the legal entity that was created each time for every development is a new company. So yes, we did create a new company for each development. We gave it a great name. That name was Greenleaf Projects, and that particular company was born, and I would be a shareholder and Amanda would be a shareholder. So our companies would be shareholders of Greenleaf Projects, and every project had its own company. So yes, we would do that. As such, we would not have to refer to the JV agreement. The JV agreement was set in place. We could actually just reset that and have obviously the company created, and we've got a number of Greenleaf project companies, and what we do at the end of a period of time, we actually close down that Greenleaf project and move on to another one, but we just number them. So Greenleaf projects 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. So hopefully that's a better answer for your question there, Kimberly. Any other questions at all? You're welcome, Kimberly. That's great. So Kimberly's just added another question here. Was it just the two of you, or have you done any with multiple investors? I've been part of the development with multiple investors with Amanda. So Amanda's had up to 3 or 4 parties investing in a project at one time. Generally, it's been family. Our community, I've got an Italian family, but big family. And the family, the community, comes together and we invest. I've only been invested once though. Generally, it's been JVs for me, but it's a case of making sure you have a clear understanding of what the successful outcome is, the rate of return on cash, and multiple parties from an investment perspective can be managed quite well. The key is obviously fall in love with the deal, fall in love with the numbers, and then set the result out there to the community and say, okay, this is what can be achieved. So got a few more questions pumping in. good luck, Kimberly. She's got a big family too and looking at property development project together. So good luck with that. With family, make sure you wrap your arms around each other and you understand that, that there's a clear set of rules. Family or outside of family, there's got to be an understanding of what success looks like. There needs to be an agreement of what success looks like. And you make sure that there's good conversations around that. Because family's very important that you keep that aligned and on track. So So John has got a question here. Have you JV'd with Amanda to complete larger projects? The largest project we've worked on, John, is a 6-site that we did in Hectorville, and that project was done over about a 15-month period. So look, our residential developments, we haven't gone excessively large, just due to our own choices, our own circumstances. Amanda and I have looked at numbers for larger ones, but they're becoming commercial developments. And frankly, I'm not really, I'm not there personally as a JV partner. She might find someone. I'm sure she'll find someone who's that sort of JV partner at some point in time, but it's not where I want to be right now. So, the largest project we've done is a 6-site. Hopefully that answers your question, John. Stacey, have you ever ended up with a project where one or more houses didn't sell and you were left servicing the debt? Yes, that's where I was alluding to, Stacey. Yes, we had one project where the product wasn't being consumed, and it caused a bit of we're losing some of our return as a result of having to fuel construction debt. The key there is, this is coming back to my point that I used in the presentation a number of times. The key there was open, honest communication with Amanda about what it was that was in our control that we could do to move the sale of the project. And we got there in the end. We got there, we got it sold. It's still actually, in terms of the result, it still was within our parameters of the risk that we were going to take. And it was a profitable project. Was it as profitable as it could have been? No, we probably could have done something different with the product. Hindsight's got 20/20 vision, right? Bottom line is that when you're in that situation, you need to work in a partnership in a manner that is open and honest and clear, and you work on outcomes. You can't suddenly become negative. You can't suddenly become restrictive. You can't drop your energy. You got to lift your energy at that point in time. You've got to give yourself some positive messages, and you do need to remain constructive and collaborative. Hopefully you get a bit of insight into that. I've been given the wind-up call here on my end. Can I just summarise by saying this community, this opportunity that you're part of, you should be really proud of yourself that you're putting the time and energy into this. That's the first thing I want to say to all of you. I've been in your shoes. I know what it's like, and you know what? Yeah, there's a bit of nervous energy there. You need to flip it on its head. You need to give yourself right now some real positive messages about what it is you're trying to achieve. And then surround yourself with people who are going to support yourself. Surround yourself with a great accountant. Surround yourself with a fantastic group of people from a real estate perspective. Talk to the designers that you like. Talk to real estate agents that you like. Get an understanding of what the building process is like. The more you learn, the more you get involved, the more you have experience. Less thinking, more doing. Less thinking, more doing. Do. The journey becomes great. The more you do, the journey becomes great. I promise you. If you sit here and think about it and overthink it, what's going to happen is you're going to do nothing. Get on with doing. Do the program Amanda is sharing with you. Get involved, act, and what's going to happen is you're going to have some fantastic experiences. So good luck, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. I hope I've given you some value. It's been really, really cool being here today. I'm so grateful for Amanda allowing me to be part of this group. So